Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. We feel happy and proud to connect with various individuals across the world. Let me put it right. We love to cooperate and connect with different people across the world, from different professions, people from different walks of life, people from different geographical locations. We get to know about their journey, the cultural differences, how we can merge and bond with them, what we can learn from them, and the best thing is what wisdom we could get from them, because they have had a lot of exposure, a lot of experiences, and they have spent several decades as a professional. And when we meet them and get to know about the thought process, get to know how we could also overcome all our challenges, not to give up in the face of challenges, is all about Fab Talks. So we love to learn about the resilience part of our guests who are here. And today we are proud to have Danelle Boyles. She's joining us all the way from USA. We'll get to know more about her on this journey called as the International Fab Talks. First, let's welcome our celebrity guest. She's none other than Danelle Boyles. If I'm getting her name wrong, she has to forgive me. I've already asked her to do that at the initial stages. She will check me if I've mispronounced her name. So let's have a wonderful time with her today and get to know about her thought process and what power she has within her, how she's made it here till date. It's not easy to face all the challenges and come here with a smile. It needs a lot of guts, resilience, and a lot of power which you have to bring from within. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to join you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear, for accepting the invitation. Thank you very much. Thank you for being humble and taking out some time. And you're here with us today. It's a moment of joy to share the space with you. I go ahead and share your profile and we begin the session, dear.
Yes, I am aware of many hats and a practitioner of many professions. Whenever I do introduce myself, I try to not overwhelm because I do have so many different lives that I lead in this one. But first and foremost, I am a mom of two wonderful boys who are 16 and 28. I am a pet mom. So those in and of themselves take a lot of time in my life. They're very, very important to me. I am an educator, a 20-year veteran, and I am an artist, a writer, a humanitarian, activist, speaker, educator, so to speak. That I work globally and worldwide with many different advocacy programs for youth, and overall, I love to live life. I have overcome many life adversities that have brought me to where I am today. And so teaching the resiliency of how to overcome the obstacles that people face daily, and not just daily, but in very severe situations, such as third world countries, poverty-stricken situations where extra support is needed in the world. I absolutely thrive on bringing light to these areas that need to have the support in order to not just survive, but to thrive.
Excellent, dear. Thank you for sharing all of that. I go ahead and share a bit from my end as well. I just share your profile in a brief way. Dear friends, we have with us Danelle Boyles, and she is from the United States. She is from Evansville, Indiana. She is a mother of two wonderful children. One is 16 years and the other boy is around about 28 years old. She's a pet mom, and I love this. Being a pet mom is an extra special way of dealing with the world, giving your love and energy not only to your children, but even to those pets who really require that. That's really nice. She's a practitioner of many professions. We'll get to know more about it. And she spent 20 years as a veteran educator and a special education case manager. She's a small business owner connected to Emotions in Art Healing Studios. She's a wonderful artist, globally published writer, a holistic practitioner. She is certified in many modalities like consciousness coach, international humanitarian educator, a director and ambassador of non-profit organizations. To mention a few here: United Humanitarians Organization, Glory Future Foundation, and Selena Charity Foundation, being three fundamental ones she's connected to. And dear friends, I'd like to add more to that. She's connected to various programs across the world. She's connected with different countries for the right reasons. It could be India, Pakistan, Africa, Singapore, Bangladesh, Philippines, Scotland, Austria, etc. She loves and thrives on helping others move through life adversities, through healing, growth, and learning. I love this. Through the teachings of human fundamentals to overcome all adverse situations, achieving higher consciousness through healing. That's wonderful. She is the owner of Emotions in Art Healing Studios. She's participated or been a participant in over 400 plus conferences, live events, etc. That's really nice. Being so active, wanting to connect with people, that's really nice. All of us should do that. We should not be idle and just sitting down in our houses, just doing nothing. We have to really connect and showcase our talent and learn as well what others have to share. I appreciate that. And she's also been appreciated on many global platforms. She has received many global accolades and awards as well. She's been nominated for 2024 as one of the top 100 influential global voices. Let me put it right. She is nominated for 2024 top 100 influential global voices. She loves living and loving the process. And she would like to continue the journey of writing, artwork, teaching, and healing, and bringing beauty and happiness in this world through the work that she does, through the way she conducts herself, and of course, spreading positive vibes. So today we'll get to know more about her on this journey. Ma'am, we'd love
Thank
to.
you very much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Same to you. I'd like to thank you as well so much. We'd love to know about you as a person. How were your initial days and how is it now? Now I see an empowered woman in front of me. If you compare your earlier self and now, what is the change that you've seen?
Whenever you go through many different challenges and adversities in life, it moves you into a space of resiliency. And the word resiliency itself stems from the act of being resilient, which we always would like to think that we're not going to be put in the position to have to take on the role of someone of resiliency. Because in order to do that, that means things have crumbled in your life that have brought you to a point that you need to do major healing from. You have to do major conscious work from. You have to develop this grit of persona that is not going to let anything that challenges you get in the way from where you want to be. And so moving through different parts of myself all throughout life, I've struggled with family issues, at a young age. Then I struggled with marital issues, moving through different aspects of life that have taught me how to learn and educate and grow myself, but also to use those things to help others that are going through similar situations. We have had loss in the family that left us in a position of dire need and survival. And whenever you learn how to survive in that type of manner, it creates a completely different person that just is thriving on learning how to do hard work. Survival is an instinct and a tool, and it can be taught to other people. Many times people, whenever they're going through these situations that involve survival, they fall into victimhood, and that is wherein they don't learn to move out of their space of being the victim of their situation. And so my teaching, showing, and doing by example of the things that I do, that you do not have to be a victim of your circumstances, is probably one of the most important aspects of the work that I do.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Thank you so much. You've been kind enough to open up and share about your journey. That's really nice.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, you had certain issues as a child, and then in your marital life, and how you faced various adversities, and how you want others to overcome their challenges. Through your experiences, you want to make them stronger, right? That's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to train them to be cautious, to be, more ready to face it, and not to play the victim card, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned that as well. That's really nice.
It's okay to be sensitive to your situation. Everything requires a sense of empathy in order to move through it. And, we don't ever want to be non-empathetic to someone who is going through a difficult time. There's always a process in how we approach those types of situations, so you always want to be empathetic and sensitive, you know, but bottom line is you have to always take responsibility for your situation and for your circumstances in order to get to where you want to be, especially if you're in a situation that you have others that are relying on you. If you have children, or other family, if you're raising siblings, or, you're taking care of a family who has maybe ill parents, those are all, we all have different adversities in our life that we overcome. And it's just some people are more easily able to move into the role of supporter or survivor or thriver, even that. But teaching how to survive and thrive and to heal mostly, while you're also moving through these things in life is very important.
I get that. I understand what you've shared. I understand that.
Yeah.
We've been through that, and like when you share that, we could resonate with what you're sharing.
Yeah.
It's better to survive, thrive, than to be in the victim mode. That's really nice to come
Mhm.
out and share. Danelle, ma'am, I'd like to ask you this. There are several
Mhm.
women out there, they don't understand that they are being abused. They don't
Mhm.
understand the red flags in their lives. They don't know that they are in an adverse situation or in facing adversity. They think that this is life. My parents faced it, or maybe my mother faced it, or my father faced it. So it's the same. For us, it's quite normal. So
Yeah.
let's talk about red flags. You've been through
Mhm.
the ups and downs. We've all been through something or the other. From your end, what would you like to share? Like, when should people be alerted, or when they should come to know that this is a red flag? I need to be cautious. I need to be cautious. I need to take a stand for myself. I need to survive and thrive, not to suffer and be a doormat.
I feel like in situations like that, I have experienced those type of situations as well. You have to be able to recognize when you are patterning a behavior that allows you to be disregarded. It's very difficult, especially for empathic people, to recognize when you are repeating a pattern that is a toxic bond. That if you're afraid to thrive on your own, if you're afraid to take that next step on your own, it's very scary. It can be, especially from a young age. I was 18 when I first got married. I moved out of state. I got married at 18. I had my first child at 19. Um, was surprised by my pregnancy, getting pregnant so quickly after getting married. And so when you become established in a relationship from a very young age, and you're used to being in like a codependent state, and in fear of not being able to be independent on your own, this is one of the number one things of keeping people in abusive type situations, is not being able to break free of that codependent state. And sometimes it takes little steps, but sometimes universally, I like to say that when the universe has had enough of you accepting being abused, it'll step in and it'll put you in a situation that you have to do what you have to do, So I like to think there's safeguards, but we all have things in life that we're here to learn and to experience in order to make us grow, even if those are abusive situations. But recognizing, when you are allowing yourself to make excuses for other people's behavior, that's the biggest key step, is being able to recognize that and then stopping that pattern. And it requires you to speak up for yourself, which can be very hard for people who are used to being soft, and who are used to being empathic. It can be very hard because you want to make excuses for other people's bad behaviors. Everybody has a good side.
Yes, dear, I get that. You've shared that so well. And as you said, the universe one fine day will stand by you or give you that power to overcome everything and to move out from that toxic space and to
Mhm.
emerge victorious, to find your energy, to find the, your zeal in life, to bring you back and, make you survive and thrive. The universe will work it out for us in the right way. Towards the end, you put that very well. I really like the way you put it. That's really
I'm very much, as a consciousness coach, and a holistic practitioner. I'm an intuitive, so I intuit a lot about people's situations and things they've been through, and in order to be able to help them work through it and heal from it, and know how to like do practices in order to move out of that space. So I have very much faith universally that, we all have a divine plan, and we're guided there. Sometimes we need a little shove out of our nest and out of our comfort zones, or out of our bad habits ourselves. And it happens. Even myself, even as practiced as I am at doing, I get pushed out of my comfort zone quite often.
interesting. Thank you for sharing it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes, dear. Now, what I'd like to ask you is now, or like share with you. Many
Hmm.
women wouldn't like to leave, even though the relationship is toxic, they are being
Hmm.
abused severely. They wouldn't want to leave the relationship just because the children are there. In a
Yeah.
certain case, in certain case, there are so many cases. Their parents were separated. They don't want the same thing to happen to their children.
Yeah.
So they will endure the abuse just because we didn't have parents being together. We suffered as orphans or maybe as neglected children. I wouldn't want that to happen. Even if I'm suffering from the hands of my husband or in-laws, I will continue to stay here just because my children need the support of the father or the presence of the father and mother as well. So I will continue. And when the children grow up, it's then that they decide to part ways as
Yeah.
partners.
Yeah. And that part is difficult. I've personally, and there's a lot of things that I don't openly talk about for that reason. Sometimes I share, especially in situations like this, because it really needs to be known that you can you can love your partner and know that they are not healthy for you. You can love your partner and know that they're not going to do the type of self work that is required for them to have better, you know, responses or better behavior towards you or towards the children. It's when partners decide to not take the steps that are necessary to make themselves healthier emotionally and mentally, that it becomes a problem within the family. When it becomes a safety issue. You know, and I find in times currently there is a lot of separation in family for this reason. We're going through very much an overhaul, like universally among people, with healing and correcting their soul paths. Like it's a collective universal thing. It's not just specifically happening to like this group of people or that group of people, but it's becoming recognized very much that the abuse in a family has to be stopped, because it will be passed on for generations. We're among a lineage of people right now that are saying this is enough, and it stops now, because we do not want our future generations to recognize this toxic, unhealthy patterning of tolerance just because you have love for someone. It has to be recognized that love is not always healthy. The human condition is not to be alone or lonely, because we're community creatures. And so therein lies the acceptance of not holding people accountable for their actions.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I'd like you to share something about emotions in Heart Healing Studio. What is this all about? If you can share something about this and how are you going about it? See, the very first word is emotions. So, over to you,
Yeah,
Danelle, to share about this.
emotions. Emotions are huge in everything that I do because, as a practitioner of energetic alchemy, I help people transmute their emotions that have been trapped as trauma. Our bodies are very energetic beings. And so, whenever when we don't process things that we experience, we entrap them within our body. They become these toxic little pockets of illness within our being. And that is, quite frankly, what leads to predominantly the illness that people experience is not allowing yourself to healthily experience your emotions. But I began as just an artist. Um, I've been an artist all my life. I've always expressed myself through artwork. And whenever, I would say probably about 7 years ago, I established Emotions in Art by Danelle, which it was just art. And so I did countrywide shows. And so I began as just doing my artwork. I have probably over 300 pieces in my personal collection. And so for me, putting emotions into artwork was a way to express my energy and healing and the need for this vibration to be put out into the universe through color and design and literally like taking yourself and putting it on canvas. And so over the course of the last 3 years, I have rebranded into Emotions and Art Healing Studios, which I am not only an artist that I've had a lot of work published globally, but I share my artwork pretty far and wide and openly. A lot of people are always saying, "Aren't you afraid that people are going to copy your art, or are they going to save your art? Are they going to use it as their own?" And quite honestly, I really am not afraid of that because my artwork is doing what it's intended to do, no matter whose hands it's in. Um, but then whenever I shifted into being a practitioner, I first started out with sound healing, which is utilizing frequencies and vibration in order to help release the traumatic response of storing trauma in the body. And so when you use particular frequencies, it releases these emotions that are trapped, then enabling people to move consciously into a higher energetic alignment. And so now it has kind of ventured into a little more of the consciousness space. As an intuitive, I channel healing, I channel conscious thought that is collectively then consciously downloaded. We're all on this. We're all in this together. Like we're all connected. We're all energetically binded. We all have these soul paths. And so it moved into healing studios as I I do large group sessions for collective healing, and so it turned into much more of a. And I'm sorry, I keep wandering over here, and my camera's over here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remind myself to continue to look over here. But it is a healing studios because I encompass all forms of holistic healing. I am certified in esthetician work. I'm certified in several types of massage, in gua sha. I am. It's hard for me to actually remember everything I'm certified in because I have many different ones. But I overall is utilizing a holistic practice and taking those emotions and being able to teach people to put them into art and giving them an outlet to be able to then express themselves. And my kitty just joined me.
Oh, you can show her us. It's a male or a female one. You can show her. Hey,
This is
Kitty. Oh
Tig.
my
Hi,
God.
baby. He's like, Mom, who are you talking to?
Oh, what's its name?
Yeah, this is Tig. Yeah, he's a boy. He is 2 years old.
You cozy type. They come and sit down and they, yeah,
I
that's
have Tig, who is Tiger. I have Gray. He's called Mr. Gray, and he is solid gray, and he's silky, silky, satiny. I have a solid white and a solid black. So I have 4 kitties in all, and I have one dog.
But I see
Who,
all of them. Could we see
if
all
they'll
of
come
them?
to me,
Yeah,
kitty, kitty,
okay.
kitty. Let's see if they'll come to me. It's very cold here today, so they're probably curled up in a very warm spot sleeping. Kitty, kitty, kitty. We'll see. Sometimes they'll come.
Yeah.
Usually, if I'm sitting down, they will come find me because I'm a very active person. So I'm always up, like wandering around the house doing things. And so if I'm sitting, it's like ding, ding, ding. Mom's taking a break. We all need to go curl up on mom's lap. But but yeah, I wish I had a piece nearby that I could show you. But if anyone ever wants to check out my art, they can find
Yeah,
me
I just
under
wanted to ask you, something's behind you. Are they also your artwork or what kind of artwork? If you can display that for us, we can have a look at it.
this. I do have one of them here. It's very large though.
Wow.
And so that is one of my pieces that I have displayed. I have in my house alone displayed on the walls about 40 pieces of artwork. So quite a few.
Excellent, excellent. That's really nice. Very, very impressive, ma'am. We'd love to see more of it. That's really nice. And we'd love people to connect with you if at all they require to, connect with you and have a piece of your art. And I mean, you can collaborate and connect with one another and
Yeah,
go ahead with it. That's really nice.
yeah,
Yes, dear. If at all towards the end of the session, if you'd love to show us your artwork so that people could connect with you, you are most welcome to share that with us.
sure, absolutely.
Ma'am, now you are also focused with connecting with different people from different countries. You've mentioned several
Mhm,
countries at the start of the session, and you've been attending more than 400 sessions, either live webinars or maybe offline sessions, and to add to that, conferences, etc. So,
mhm.
what are you looking into when you join these sessions, or what do you get, or what do you contribute to these sessions? Is the question.
Many different types. Predominantly, like my speaking sessions are online. I'm joined with 7 different humanitarian organizations, and I provide them with master classes, educational classes. I teach online several times a month to students in Bangladesh and in the Georgian population, Africa. So we host online conferences through not just all of the humanitarian organizations, um, but also classes and summits and different events like that. I just hosted this last weekend at a local venue a class through the Holistic Society about how your energetic imprint is left in the world and what kind of legacy that you leave. And that was a wonderful, wonderful session. I had quite a few people that came for it. Um, Overall, I mean, it's just a very much a global networking. It's joining forces with organizations that are looking to make world change, and um, you come in contact with all different kinds of people, literally just millions of people. It's an international soiree of humanitarians that are in a progressive movement of making world change and doing that one step at a time. But I do live art galleried events here. I'm in several art based organizations. I just had my series Hold the Frequency on exhibit at 2 different locations in the last 2 months. That's scheduled to be seen in a few other places. So there's just there's just so many. With being an artist, my art is always out there in the public. Being published with my writing, I work with many writers, writing books globally with different people in Pakistan and in Bangladesh. We have. I'm getting a little off the topic of the original question,
No worries, you
but
can go ahead. I mean, you're on the right track. You can go ahead.
yeah, but no, it's just so many, and that is even actually just a rough estimate. It's probably a little bit more than that I've actually participated in. Yeah,
Yes. We know that you're a great writer as well. On what topics do you write?
everything. I'm majority most of my writing is poetry. I just started writing again as an adult about 4 years ago and joined forces on several poetic societies to host conferences and summits for refugees as a support service. And so I've worked with many refugee camps in supporting them on their healing endeavor with public performances and forums online to recognize the life path of of refugees alone. You know, the type of situations that they incur in their process of becoming free.
Yes, Steve.
um, but
Daniel.
writing is.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so please go ahead. I am sorry because I disturbed you. Please go ahead.
No, no, not at all. Writing is a huge outlet. I write to release emotions of my own trauma sometimes. Sometimes friends will be going through situations, so I write about them. Humanitarian efforts. We have several books published in Bangladesh through the Glory Future Foundation that are all the advisors pulled together. And so, we've written several books. We've given out, I believe, about 5,000 copies of those books that have been published over there. So it's just everything, like writing. I have been working on my own books to be published here for a while, and they are everything from being one with nature to being one with yourself, spiritual process, pain. You name it. You can write. You can put emotions into words very easily. Mhm.
Yes, I get that, dear.
My kitty is here being very spoiled. If you see my arms moving, it's because he's still here. You want to say hi again? He's going to be a little camera shy. Yeah, he's a big baby.
That's really nice. And now I agree you're really a great pet mom because the
I
love that you're getting
try
from
to
your
be.
kitty is really
Yeah.
nice.
These two, him and his brother, Gray is his brother, and they are very special. I found them both when they were tiny. I mean, like they fit in the palm of my hand, and I nursed them with bottled milk for about 6 weeks when they were babies because they were not well when I found them, and so they're very, very bonded to me. Aren't you? Yeah, it's very bonded. Do you have pets?
Yes, dear.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I'm so happy to see both of you. I wish I had a chance to see all the other pets as well. That's really
I
nice.
know. I'm surprised they have not come in to see me yet. Yeah. I will certainly show you though if they do.
Yes. Daniel, we'd love to know your journey as a consciousness coach. So, how would you like to share this journey? What one could learn, if at all
Mm.
they would like to connect with you and get the benefits of connecting with a consciousness coach? So if you can explain that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. As a consciousness coach, I began I've always been more consciously aware. And what I mean by that is when you move through a process of a difficult life path, you learn and grow differently, and it brings your conscious awareness into a higher state. Being intuitive and being an energetic channeler, I go through the processes of assisting other people through many different conditions that they go through in the process of, for lack of better words, like an awakening, a soul revival. When you go through these processes after you've recovered from life circumstances, you become much more consciously awake. But whenever you go through these processes, it can cause a lot of mental health conditions, physical health conditions, emotional. Like it's a very difficult path to travel on if you're not familiar with what you're experiencing. And so, as a consciousness coach, I help guide people through their process of their awakening path and to understand energetically how things they're experiencing can be navigated more easily, how they can recognize their process as a process, not just something, and that falls into like not being a victim of your circumstances also, because there's a lot of people who, when they experience the depression or the anxiety or the disclarity of moving through the process, they can fall into a victim mentality very easily because you're experiencing your symptoms and not recognizing it as a process. And so whenever you can recognize how it's happening to you and what is happening to you, then it makes it more easy to navigate and move through. And so that's where I come in, as having an understanding of how things work multidimensionally with the consciousness and with energy, and being able to explain it in terms that are able to be understood outside of just a basic human understanding that we're the single entity that just exists, like face to face. We have you and me right here, and we see each other as, as just who we are. But there are technically, when it comes to the human condition, there's many, 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 many layers to the consciousness that are involved in this process. And it's very convoluted as being disregarded as just having bad mental health. And that's not the case. What it really is human expansion. And human expansion can be messy, especially if it's not understood.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that, Danelle. I'd love to know now about your nomination for this 2024 Top 100 Influential Global Voices. So what is this all about? And you were nominated for that. And how did it feel when you were nominated to be one of the top 100 global voices? Over to you.
I was actually I was very surprised. I'm very humble about everything I do. It's like I have strength in what I do. I know what I do. I know what I'm capable of. But my sole purpose of what I'm doing is for the expansion of others and for anchoring of better life, better frequency, higher life path for everyone. So whenever you are in the midst of doing that, you're just doing what you are supposed to be doing. And so being nominated, I don't always recognize myself as the entity that I am globally. People are always surprised that I have days that I fall back into my lower thought process as well, like it's only human, it's one of our layers. We're in a constant shedding and, and moving forward. And so being nominated for that really kind of put into perspective the kind of work that I'm doing and on what level that I'm doing it. So, I was very privileged. I've been given many accolades over the course of the last several years, and every one is always a privilege. I don't ever like to perceive that is why I do what I do. It's an honor. So, but I was honored. And it was through, and I'm sorry, I failed to mention, the Leaders Without Borders organization. And so that was the original organization that it was nominated through. And I believe they're in the UK.
Wow, that's really nice. I love this. Leaders Without Borders. That's really
Yeah.
nice. It sounds like music to my ears because there's so much of war going on, Daniel, out there across different countries. Such a lot of war, such a lot of waste of wealth and waste of life. It's very, very sad to see all of that. It's very, very painful. I wouldn't want to speak about it because it's very, very traumatic. Let all the
Mhm.
world leaders stop the war and concentrate on peace, health, happiness, and enjoy this life. It's a gift for everyone. Let's not take away anybody's life. Daniel,
Absolutely.
yes, dear. Was
Yeah, oh no, it just brings me to, like even in just recent current events, like I have very close people to me in many countries, but recently, there were issues in Bangladesh with a lot of turmoil and taking of lives and disregard for humanity, and seeing and experiencing that up front. Like I want to be over there and do things to help terribly, but I try to do as much as I can from here, especially with holding healing and positive intention. People don't realize the whole thought process of hold the frequency. My most recent art exhibit and series is just that, holding the frequency. There are particular people on the planet that are very high frequency holders right now, like very high, like world changing. And when you gather all of those people together and you say, listen, we need to really like set the intention for this to shift the current reality outcome. And so whenever you have this group of massive energetic holding beings, that they set the intention that they're going to shift the reality of the outcome of this current circumstance, then that's exactly what it does. You're creating reality is what you're doing. And so you're surpassing this low vibrational reality experience and transmuting it, like literally. And again, I'm getting off topic, but that is also something I'm very, very passionate of, is gathering all of the persons who are major pushers of that together and banding together to hold that frequency of expectation. So it takes 1% of persons to change and to change their way of thinking to actually affect the whole like collective outcome energetically. And so even just having, like if you have 1%, then that affects the other 99% dramatically. It's a consciousness shift. It's a change of a way of thinking, for sure.
yes, yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that. Daniel, now I'd love to know about your journey as a mother. What has motherhood taught you?
Oh, so much patience.
Very true. I agree with you.
So much patience. My oldest son is mild to moderately special needs. And so as an adult, he's much easier to communicate with. But as a child, raising him was very difficult and required a lot of regulation. He is also the reason why I got into working in special education. When he was a child, when he was small, and he started in developmental kindergarten, I would volunteer my time a lot. And so, it got to a point after a couple of years that they were like, you really should be doing this and getting paid. And so I did. And so I got hired on with the school corporation, and I've gradually have worked my way into different positions. I've done all different types of positions in school, but my boys, being a mom, broadens the expectations of myself. I hold a very strong standard of myself to be an example for my kids, because I want both of my kids to grow up and they don't have to follow in my footsteps. They have their own footsteps to follow, but I want to be highly impactful on the development of who they are as people and how they expect themselves to be as they grow. My youngest son, both of my kids are artistic. My youngest son just joined forces with me through Art Heals in the Philippines. And so I was exhibited in the Philippines last month in two different exhibits. And so this next month, is going to be exhibited in a children's art exhibit in the Philippines through the same organization. And he just recently became a child ambassador through the organization. So I'm very proud of him. He stepped out of his comfort zone. He's not as much a people person as I am. And so it makes me very happy that he's taking that role.
I see a proud mother in front of me, Daniel.
I am. I am. I try to not
One strong
push.
person. Yes, dear, go ahead.
Oh, no. I don't ever try to push. As much as I want for them to be and do, everything happens for them in their own time. And so when he agreed to participate, I was like, oh, my little mom self inside was like, yay. So, it did make me very happy. Yeah.
Yes, dear. That's wonderful. You've been sharing that so well as a mother, and the pride that you get when you see your children giving back or connecting with you or supporting you in what you are doing, or trying to
Yeah.
fly in their own way.
Yeah.
It's really
That's
nice.
all we want. We want them to just succeed and thrive, especially, excuse me, with the things I've experienced with my kids. We lost my youngest dad almost 4 years ago. And so, it's equally difficult on both of my kids and on the family, because his dad and I were together for 14 years. And so my oldest son, had him in his life for 14 years. But for him to lose his dad, especially in the way that we did, which was through self-harm, it's a lot to come back from, especially for a child. And so I'm very proud of him and the way that he has healed and moved in life in order to become successful and to not just thrive, but to, not to just survive, but to thrive in life circumstances.
Yes, dear. Daniel, I'd love to know your inspiration. From where do you derive the strength? See, you've been through a lot of ups and downs as a mother, as an individual. When you shared your story, or as you are sharing, I get to understand you've gone through a lot of pain, and you
Mm-hmm.
faced a lot of adverse situations, but you are strong. And by the day, you're becoming stronger, and you will one day be the strongest mother, I guess. Uh, yes, dear. I'd love to see you there in that zone. What I'd like to ask you is, from where do you derive this energy? From where do you derive this strength to be so strong, to face all the odds and say, yes, I'm ready for anything. I will face
Mm-hmm.
this too shall pass.
Yeah, I would like to say that it comes from a natural divine like a resiliency. But that's not always the case. It requires work. You can be divinely guided and it still requires a lot of work. You can be divinely timed and it still requires you to take action. But there is a divine energy within me that sets this pace and sets this standard that, I have no choice but to overcome and achieve, because I have all of these other people that are counting on me, not just surviving, but thriving in my condition, and it requires a lot of faith. It requires a lot of self-evaluation, and it requires a lot of understanding that this too shall pass, and having faith that you are being held and that you are being divinely guided. And for many people, it's very difficult to recognize that. And it can be many different, it's understood and accepted in many different ways. For some people it's God, and for some it's spirit. Some it is universal purpose. So and some it's it's your own inner strength. Because truly it is, even if you're divinely guided, you are being challenged. Your human has to overcome the adversities of believing in yourself. And so that in and of itself, you have to have faith in yourself. And
Yes,
that can be difficult.
yes, dear. Thank you for sharing all of that, Danelle. That's really nice. Back to your present moment. What is it that you love about yourself? Where do you see yourself now as, like, what do you admire in your own self? The simple question is, what do you admire in your own self?
My ability to be malleable. So my ability to be able to be flexible to change. It's one thing that I have always prided myself on then and now. Being able to be called and to be able to do, which is what gives me the ability to carry so many different professions also. Yeah.
Yes, dear. We'd love to know what is on your bucket list now.
I have so many things. I knocked off one thing off my bucket list this last February, and I traveled to Peru for 10 days. I have a very big goal for the next several years, and I want to open my own holistic institute. And so I'm in the process of taking every type of holistic certification that I can. Eventually, I want to move into a doctorate of holistic practice. I want to travel with my son. I want to take him on humanitarian adventures and go to the countries that I've been working directly with. I would like to skydive, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. My bucket list, I guess, is not as big as what most people's are, and I have very different things on my bucket list than what most people do. I don't know. Live a long life and have enough time to check off those things.
Lovely, Daniel. That's really lovely. You shared that so well. That's really nice. What is the change you'd love to see in the world? You might have seen a lot of things happening around you. You might have seen various people, the way they behave, the way they connect with one another. You might have seen how difficult it is sometimes to communicate. You might have seen the ups and downs of
Mhm.
everything till date. That's quite clear for everyone. But
Yeah.
now I'd like to know, what is the change that Danelle would love to see in the world?
Um, I think the number one thing that I work towards is equality. And that is measured in all different kinds of things. There's so many people that do not get to experience a comfortable life. And so raising the consciousness globally is bringing that equality up to human standards that, everyone is fed, everyone is heard, everyone is educated, that everyone has the ability to know their own self-worth. And it doesn't matter from what walk of life you come from, doesn't matter what color you are, what your educational background is. Having equality and equal standards of living among everyone. But in the process of getting there, it requires people to accept that they have to change.
Yes,
So in all different ways. Yeah.
you'd
But
like to add
offering
more?
the thing.
You'd like to add more? You'd like to add more to that?
Oh, it's, there's so many things like that I can talk about forever. So many of my students that I see globally, they don't have school supplies, and they don't have food, they don't have proper shelter. When people think equality, they don't consider that what someone on the other side of the world is experiencing is a dire situation of poverty, to the point that they're in unsafe situations. So for me, equality is different by most human standards.
Yes, dear. You've shared that so well. Daniel, we'd love to know now, if we give you a magic wand, or if you find a magic wand, right? If you find a magic wand, what are the three things that you're going to ask the magic wand or use it for?
Oh, gosh, you would think that is a question that you would have automatic, like, banked answers for. And I kind of do, but mine go outside of the typical, everybody always wants money. I would like to have money. I would like to be a multimillionaire, but not for the same reason that other people do. I would like to be able to just give money out at the drop of a hat. I would like to be able to build sustainable communities for the human equality. I'd like to think that those of us who are holding that higher frequency do have a magic wand, because I am a master manifester. So I am the magic wand for those who come to me looking for help. Um, I don't know. I really don't have, outside of wanting to have the ability to be absolutely financially secure to help the world. I would wish for an all-inclusive vacation for all of my friends and family to, like, the best vacation places in the world, so that we can relax after doing all of the work that we're doing. And just for everyone to have equality and equal standards globally.
Thought process is very sweet. Your thought process is very, very nice. You have a wonderful heart, Daniel. All is that I can say today is you have a wonderful heart. You have a wonderful thought process. You love peace and happiness for everyone, right? You love
Yeah.
equality, you love inclusion. That's really nice. I get to understand you at a deeper level. That's really
Thank you.
wonderful. When
I
we
have
don't
an
meet, yes,
understanding.
please.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay.
Please go ahead.
It's very, I have a very mixed emotions about the whole peace process, because in order to get to that level, you have to go through, what we refer to in the spiritual world as karmic expression. Everybody has life lessons. Everybody has things that they're moving through to learn from. But we're coming to a point that karmic debt kind of no longer exist. And everyone will have an opportunity to just live and thrive and be happy and be peaceful. And I say this as somebody who's been, like being a conscious energy worker for the last 5 or 6 years, seeing and experiencing and doing things that most people don't understand. But, understanding that there is shadow and light and everything, and you can't just be in light, you do have to go through shadow, even if it's hard. But things will be in much more of a light matter in the near future. I do have absolute faith in that.
Thanks, Daniel, for sharing that. I'd like to ask you now, is there anything that angers you?
There's really only two things. And one of them is so weirdly trivial. But one is very serious, and it's mistreatment of other people, especially those who are not deserving of it, those who have good hearts and good intentions. When they are dealt a fate of difficulty or abuse, but even I don't get angry like in the same sense, like whenever you've done a lot of work to get to a higher state of frequency, you literally don't get angry. It takes a lot to like actually make you angry. You just kind of manage whatever situation it is. The silly one that makes me mad is when my animals potty on the floor. I'm so busy. I don't have time for that nonsense. But yeah, I try very hard to not get angry, and practicing the balance of patience and peace. I discovered, and back to my children years ago, whenever they were little, and when I made the connection when my youngest was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, that everyone is their own individual person, and they're going to do what they're going to do, regardless of how you want them to or how you perceive it. But how you react to it is all the difference in the world. And learning to not react is the biggest key in maintaining and balancing our emotional and conscious health in society, being non-reactive in anger. So
Yes, Daniel, thank you for sharing that. We'd love to know what is the best thing that you love about Indiana?
oh, our seasons. Yeah, we have amazing falls here. All of the trees turn bright orange and red. And in the cool months, whenever we get to enjoy nice walks outside and not being extremely hot, I enjoy all the seasons. So having changes of seasons is probably what I enjoy the most about our state.
What about the food? What kind of food is available over there? What kind of sweets?
Oh, in Indiana, we have very, very traditional Midwestern food, and that is home cooking, country fried steak, mashed potatoes, biscuits and gravy. It's very easy to be overweight in Indiana because there's a lot of good food here. As far as what we're known for food wise, I honestly don't know. Like if there's an actual dish from here that is, very traditional, but what we are known for, one thing here is in my town, we have annually a street fair that is the second largest in the world. And it's all nonprofit organizations that raise money for their foundations. And every single person that works the entire food section does it all at nonprofit. It's all done by volunteer work. So there's usually, I think there was 250 something food vendors at this last one. It's a lot of food. It's everything you can imagine.
What about the sweets? Like what type of sweet dishes do you get in your place?
You know, the traditional ones that are here is like pineapple upside down cake, chess pie. Are you familiar with chess pie?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Um,
First time I'm hearing.
it's a pie crust that is filled with almost like a custard, and it's made of butter, egg yolks, and just a little bit of cornstarch. It's nothing but sugar. um, but honestly, there's such a conglomeration of so many different types of food here now that it kind of drowns out what would have been known as traditional. But things like that, homemade, like home favorites, desserts like chess pie and pineapple upside down cake, bread pudding, and things like that. Barbecue, we are known for barbecue, most definitely. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Daniel. Towards the end, I'd like to ask you to give us a wonderful message. What is the message from Daniel to the world?
Oh, just do well and be well. Do well to others and do well to yourself. Stand in your beliefs and your truths. And the theme of today is don't be afraid to speak out. We're in a time of truth right now, and we're in a time of breaking human programming, things that we are taught that we are supposed to believe in. And we're being taken into a time of instilling our own self. And that is very important. But take care of yourself. Make yourself aware of changes that you can make in life, that it's never too late to learn or grow or to heal. It's never too late to reconnect with people that you lost touch with. And it's never too late to reconnect with yourself. And there's so many different ways. Don't be afraid to learn every day, do different things every day.
Thanks, Daniel. Thank you.
Mm.
I'd like you to give us 3 gifts in the form of 3 words. Which are the 3 words that you'd love to give us as a gift? Apart from please, sorry, and thank you, you could share any 3 words that come to your mind immediately.
Patience, strength, and advocacy.
Patience, strength, and advocacy, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You didn't even wait for a split second. You quickly shared those 3 words with us. That's really nice. Thank you so much. You have a lot of patience and you've done your job very well today, sharing your journey with us and opening up in the right way so that others have the courage and the spirit to come out and share. And I would love them to connect with you either for your artwork or for, any classes connected to consciousness coaching and the various other work that you are connected with. More power to you. We'd love to have you once more on the International Fab Talks. It was really a pleasure talking to you, getting to know you as a person. You're very down to earth, warm, gentle. I could see you not only being as a great mom, as a pet mom as well. You could see the love that your cat was sharing with you today on the Fab Talks with us. Yeah, he's still there.
Here. He's still here. He's curled up in my warm little lap. No, I absolutely appreciate the opportunity. Every opportunity that we have to connect worldwide to share the lessons of growth and love and learning is always a blessed opportunity. And I greatly appreciate what you do and for having me on today.
Thank you, dear. We look forward to many more interactions with you. Stay connected and stay blessed, Danelle. Lots of love to you and happy Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, we're very much looking forward to it coming up. Very much.
Stay blessed and stay connected.
Thank you. Bless you. Take care and be well.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear friends, with this we come to an end now to the International Fab Talks for today. Please do share this video with the right kind of people. If you'd love to connect with Danelle, we'll share her details in the description when we share this video. Do connect with her. She's a lovely person. If you'd like anything connected with the work that she does, with the artwork that she does, with the healing that she does, you could just get connected with her and have a wonderful time and a healing session. She focuses on healing, and as a consciousness coach, she does her job very well with lots of confidentiality. You could connect with her. And share this video with the right kind of people. You never know who may be inspired or who would want to connect with our celebrity guest. She's none other than Danelle. She's been here sharing her time. With this, we'd like to sign off now from the International Fab Talks. If you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Above all, focus on healing. Have a lot of patience with your family members. Treat them in the right way. Treat yourself in the right way and be a blessing to the universe. And of course, don't forget to give a lot of love to your pets. If you have pets at home, take good care of them. With this, we'd like to sign off now. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much, dear.